rings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills, nights get loud. Big EQP, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it, but this time on a Wednesday. I know I said I was gonna do it on Thursday. It was just gonna be a video, not live, blah blah blah. Listen, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had to do it live. So fuck it, we do it live. I just wanted to make sure I got the show in, and you know, it's been going. I just like doing it live better. I don't know what it is, but it's better live. And so here we are, getting ready to get going. Got to preview UFC 317, and then of course we have some crazy, wild, unhinged type shit going on in the world of MMA outside of the cage and everything else, just people involved. And of course we got to talk about it. We maybe won't spend too much time on it, but yeah, there's some shit going down, so I'm sure you might know what I'm talking about. We'll hit that up here in just a minute. Other than that, though, we also got some boxing going on this weekend, and some people might know, some people might not. It hasn't been really out all up in your face like normal, but Jake Paul's fighting this weekend, and he's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's a mouthful. That's a lot to say, but that's what's happening. And are we going to see yet another Jake Paul fight where he wins and we talk shit? Or are we going to finally see him get stopped? I mean, we've seen him lose, but, you know, that was just a decision loss that some people said maybe wasn't so much of a loss. I don't know. But we got to talk about it just because it is Jake Paul and it's been a minute. And it's just been kind of weird that, you know, he hasn't really been all up in your face and all in the mix of everything. Maybe it's the opponent that's not as crazy big. But it's happening, and it's happening on Saturday going up against UFC 317, which is not smart, especially when they're both pay-per-views. But it is what it is. Jake Paul's going to do his thing. It's probably going to get streamed more than bought, but not my problem. I'll be watching for the updates, and we'll be doing a watch party, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Not for Jake Paul, but for UFC 317. I'm excited for this card. I feel like it's going to be a good one. And I mean, especially at the top of the main card, like shit, we got 2 title fights going on. One for a vacant title, the vacant lightweight title, and one for, what is it, the flyweights. Yeah. I don't know why I second guessed myself, but it is definitely the flyweight title. So, I mean, and both fights have potential to be really good. So that's why I'm pretty excited for it. And then there's just so many other random fights that have a lot of potential. So I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. And I'm going to have another full house in here for the watch party because we are doing that. So it's going to be fun. Second pay-per-view of the month. And yeah, I've been busy just getting these pods in and making sure that I get all my content out there. It's been a busy month, but we're gonna keep going. And this isn't the last pod of the week. We got the watch party on Saturday, so fun stuff. Thanks for everybody for, you know, that keeps joining in and interacting and just watching, even if it's just for a little bit. I appreciate all of you, and it's been fun just continuously, you know, throwing out podcasts, whether they be shorter, longer. You know, at least twice a week. It's been fun. I like it. We're going to keep it going and making small changes here and there. And there wasn't any difficulties today. Thankfully, another one. Yes, Infinity. You are correct.
Another one.
There you go. I know you were waiting on that, but, yeah, here we are. I was going to pre-record and just, release it tomorrow at the normal time, but I'm here because I want to do it live. And tomorrow I have I'm actually going to watch a live podcast over by you, Infinity, actually. Yeah, I'm taking my daughters with me, and we're gonna go watch this live podcast. If anybody's heard of it, it's the YSK podcast, You Should Know, the You Should Know podcast. If you're on TikTok, you might have come across their clips, maybe other places too. I've seen them on Instagram and stuff, but I first found them on TikTok, and it's kind of comedy type shit, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun. They're funny as hell, and both my daughters know who they are, and I just thought it'd be cool to go check it out. Andre, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you. We're gonna get going here in just a second. I'm just discussing my my extra stuff that I'm doing this next week, or this next day, I should say. What am I talking about? But yeah, so that's why I'm here live today. So thanks for joining in. Appreciate you. Got to give a shout out to my sponsor, Noctane Smelling Salts. Got to shake it up and get the activation going. But Noctane Smelling Salts keeping me awake and alert, and just having some fun with them as usual. Maybe since I'm not so mad today, I won't have instant karma, but I doubt it, because I want a nice big whiff of this to get that total effect. Oh, there it is. Woo! It's wearing out a little bit. I got a new bottle coming here soon. Oh, my right eye went nice and watery. This is the most potent bottle with the red cap. There's two other potencies, the least being the white cap, the mid-range being the black. They're fun, and they keep you awake and alert, and I appreciate them for the sponsorship. So hit that QR code, or there's a link in the description below. You can go get yourself a bottle. Their webpage is nice to look at, very informative, and their product is great. So thanks again, Noctane, for the sponsorship. Appreciate that. And shit, let's get going here with some, some combat sports news and just the craziness happening in the world of combat sports right now. And we're going to get started with the top topic. Is this the weekend beginning of the end for Oliveira? Ah, shit, man. That's a rough one to start with, Andre. But before I get into Rogan and the Liver King, I'll answer your question. And I want to say that it's not as easily put as that. I think he has a couple of different things. I think he has a couple different things going for him, and being the bigger guy with with more experience in that weight class, being that he's the former champ, I think that he has a chance, but more than likely, Andre, you might be right. So unfortunately, I love Charles Oliveira. If you look at my thumbnail, that picture, I think that's the coldest, dopest picture ever of someone in their belt. I don't know, it's just a sick picture. I like it. And I like Charles Oliveira, but you know what? He's had his time and he's struggled here and there, but he's still at the top of the level. And I just don't know if he has what it takes to beat Ilia, who's just insane right now. So we'll definitely get deeper into that here in a little bit, but I appreciate the question. Infinity says the steroid king, no doubt. So at the top here, we're going to talk about this real fast. Joe Rogan versus the Liver King. And there is no versus. It's more like the Liver King versus his inner demons presenting themselves as Joe Rogan because he just can't shut the fuck up. So Joe talked about him on the podcast after he got, all kinds of backlash about all kinds of shit that the Liver King talks about and what he stands for and all this other shit. And he's just going nuts, man. I don't know if it's a combination of the steroids. I don't know if it's drugs. I feel like it's more drugs than anything. He's on some shit, because if you watched his unhinged Instagram tirade happening over the past couple days, but yesterday and today yesterday mostly, today too, yeah. But oh my god, dude, it is fucking nuts. And I mean, this is how bad it is. He made one of his videos standing. This is the Liver King, by the way. Made one of his videos standing in his shower with the shower on, and he's doing a coffee enema as he's talking. Like, what are we fucking doing? And yes, Infinity had a blue mouth recently too. In that first video that he's calling out Joe, yeah, he had a blue mouth, and I guarantee it's because of some fucking stupid fucking thing that he thinks is like the way to live your clean life or some bullshit. Fucking weird, man. I don't understand it. It's strange. It's weird. I don't get it all. But yeah, doing a coffee enema in the shower while he's ranting about what he's gonna do and how he's gonna do it, and he keeps talking about bookending things with love, but he wants to beat the shit out of Joe Rogan. And then it slowly yet rapidly progressed into actual full-on threats. He's in a video with like holding guns and shit, and he's talking about how he's gonna fight Joe Rogan and things are gonna come to just craziness, man. So I don't understand where the hell this all came from. I wasn't paying full attention to him because I just don't like the dude. I've never followed him. I always thought he was a bit cringe. I watched him on some podcasts that he was on. I watched the Netflix, you know, docu-series or documentary that they did on him. Just craziness. And you can tell by right away. Like, I know a lot of people were like, you know, he just lives a different kind of life. He's intense and blah, blah, blah. I always felt like he was just doing too much and a little over the top. And while he garnered a bunch of, you know, followers and recognition right away off the bat with the whole liver thing and all of that, it just got to be too much too fast for me, and I checked out real quick. So I'm glad to say that I was not wrong. When I see certain people, the look in his eye, the way how intense he is, there's people that are naturally like that, and there's other people that are like that for a reason, whether it's their past trauma, whether it's their substance abuse or addiction. And that's no excuse, but it is a problem. And I understand that a lot of people have these problems, but some people that are naturally over the top get crazy with this stuff, and it gets way out of hand. And that's what happened here. And the only thing I could really put together was that he was upset about some stuff that Rogan said. He apparently decided that a lot of his downfall was because Rogan has such a big following, and he kind of doubted the things he said and stuff like that, and that led to some of his downfall with his popularity and everything. Doesn't matter. All of it is stupid. All of it is stupid. He went way overboard, threatening Rogan. As he went as far as traveling to Austin, Texas, where we all know Rogan lives, saying he's going to the Mothership, which is Rogan's comedy club, and saying he had some weird package for him. It's some unmarked box with who knows what the contents are, and then, you know, making videos nonstop about everything that has to do with making threats to Joe Rogan, basically. But then, you know, topping it with I'm bookending this with love. Shut the fuck up. You're ending it with crazy. And yeah, you got arrested like a dumbass. And then you know, so they arrested him for terroristic threats, which, you know, Rogan has a lot of pull. I don't know if he did it, or maybe his security are ex like Navy SEALs and people like that. So you know, those types of people recognize things like this, and I'm pretty damn sure that they recognized what was happening here and the possibilities. And I think they might have been the reason why police were called and stuff like that. Let's see, the comment went away for some reason. I guess YouTube didn't like it, Infinity, but I still see it on the screen. So it says Rogan flat out asked him about PEDs back in the day. Now he regrets it. Rogan would body him if he even came down to, oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, the Liver King is ripped because he's on steroids. And yes, he eats a clean diet and all this other bullshit, but, you know, Rogan has a lot of skills, and Liver King just has too much confidence. So he got arrested in front of his family and everything, and now he's already out of jail. It was a $20,000 bond or bail, whatever, and he's out. And he says already that the videos will never stop. He said the videos will never stop. He doubled down on talking shit, and that he still wants to fight Rogan. And he said, listen, the package was just a gift for you and your employees at your club, but still doesn't say what it is. So he tried to make jokes saying he was talking about Seth Rogen and all this other shit, but regardless of any of that, he's out. There's a restraining order apparently. Who knows? All of it's hearsay, but it's crazy. And the Liver King is fucking insane. He's got problems. He needs help. And people need to stop fucking yes-manning him and thinking that he's gonna be okay, because he's not. And this isn't the first time he's been arrested in front of his family, by the way. This dude's unhinged, off his rocker, and he needs to fucking chill out and back the fuck up before some of Rogan's security get a hold of him and make him disappear. Because we all know that might be something that could definitely happen. If you know anything about Rogan and his guys, yeah. So we're gonna move on, going from one unhinged story to the next. Jon Jones is wilding out on X/Twitter, and as I spoke about earlier this week, 2 days ago, I should say, with the retirement news and the fact that it all got done in such a crappy way. But Jones is just on a tirade, and I assume he was probably drinking and he let everything get to him, and he just went nuts on X and started talking mad shit, saying stuff that actually doesn't really make sense at all. So it's kind of hard to say he's talking shit because you don't really know what he's saying. I mean, I'm not going to read all of these like tweets, but he's saying stuff like, I guess when you have a voice, you should use it. He just says intelligence. Change me by thinking about this riddle. You want to change me? Think about this riddle. I mean, those are back-to-back posts. Like, what are you fucking doing? This is your turn to think. Who hit who? I tell you, back when I was a kid, my family used to sing Joy, enjoying the Holy Ghost. My mom used to send that to me. All these arguments with your best fighters to be this dumb. I mean, this is just portions of what was said. As you can see, the entire, just like all the pictures of all the posts with one word, 2 words, don't cry. I've been crying. I'm okay with that. I'm alive. Like, if you remember back in the day, somebody actually posted something I saw on TikTok where I remember this too. He was on a live on Instagram or something, and he was like crying as he's walking in the middle of the night, saying something like, you just can't trust people, and when you get to that point, you just have to give up and get rid of them. And it sounded real ominous and weird. He wasn't making a whole lot of sense. He was slurring his words and shit like that. So other than that, there was also body camera footage that came out from the arrest, the officer that, I guess it wasn't really an officer. It was like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of sector of the police that showed up to the car crash with the woman that was in the car, half naked, saying that it was Jon Jones that was driving the vehicle and that he fled on foot. She had him on the phone. Jon Jones starts threatening the police. So Liver King and Jon Jones are on the same level right now. I don't know why for some reason he's claiming that, first he claimed it wasn't him, and then he kind of bounced back and I don't know if he realized what he was saying, but then he's like, well, the time stamps don't match up from the time that I was on that phone call and the time that is on that video, and then he deleted the tweet. So and his lawyer seems to think that they're targeting him and that it was an easy way for this person, that he doesn't deny the fact that maybe this woman in this vehicle knows Jon Jones, but Jones dumbass went back to the scene after that. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We all know what he's done in the past. Like an idiot, he does stupid shit, and he doesn't know how to, he probably gets upset and depressed and is feeling the heat, starts drinking or doing drugs or whatever else, and then starts doing dumb shit that's going to incriminate him, like running back to the scene because he's stupid, and then talking about a phone call that he claims wasn't even him on the phone, but it pretty much sounded like him. We've heard him slur his words and say dumb shit. And then he starts threatening the police, saying that his brothers will off people easily and quickly, and they've done it for less. And I'm like, your brothers? Are you talking about the high profile brothers that you have that are like related to you? Because I call some of my boys, like some of my friends that I've known for a long time, I call them my brothers. But in this case, it sounded like he legit said his brothers, talking about how they'll slit people's necks and stuff like that. And basically, if we're talking about his real brothers, his blood brothers, we're talking about Arthur Jones and Chandler Jones. Now, it might not be too far-fetched considering Chandler Jones went on a drug binge where he was out in the streets talking crazy shit, running around basically naked, looking like a crackhead. Which is sad considering the talent these guys have. It's like, what is going on here? Maybe the CTE is real, I don't know. But regardless of any of that, Jones is doing dumb shit, and it's not ending. So let's see where this one goes. But between the time that he was between the time he retired and then the legal stuff came out, all the allegations and all this other shit, and now he's basically snitching himself out and going nuts on X and talking shit, threatening people. Like, come on, man, get your fucking shit together. Why don't I have my drops up? That's what I need. I'm missing them, and I forgot to put those up on the screen so that I can use them whenever necessary. So here you go, John.
Fucking shit together, my God.
Probably my most popular soundbite, but that's because so many people need to get their fucking shit together. So let's end the unhinged bullshit and go into something slightly less crazy, but also a lot of people still think crazy, because Jake Paul is having another boxing match, and that is versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And we all know that Jake Paul's career has been this, that, and the other thing. Say what you want. He's made a pretty good progression in boxing, but he's still yet to fight people that are, I guess, 100% worthy of being called real boxers. Whether they just have questionable, records, being considered cans, or just celebrity type influencers / celebrity / athletes, and not full boxers. He lost to a guy who actually does train in boxing, has a very popular brother who's a star in boxing, being Tommy Fury. And he lost to him, and it wasn't like a knockout or a stoppage or anything, but he did lose. So now he's fighting yet another family member of a very highly regarded boxer from back in the day now, because Julio Cesar Chavez, of course, is a legend in boxing, and now his son, who's been fighting other MMA fighters and influencer types, he's now fighting Jake Paul on Saturday. And he's like 39 years old, so once again, Jake Paul's still fighting the older guys that seem to be washed up and whatnot. So 39 years old to Jake Paul, who is whatever fucking age, I don't even remember at this point. I'll probably find out in just a second if these pop-ups would stop coming in. How old is he? 28 years old. And Julio Cesar Chavez is 39. It's better than the Mike Tyson one, right? Where they were like 30 years apart. But still, the older guy that, hasn't really won like the biggest fights in the world, at least not in a long time. And then, he fought people like Anderson Silva. He fought Uriah Hall. But that's really it. I mean, it's kind of in the same realm, I guess. So I guess this makes sense. And then Jake Paul thinks, like this is going to get him more recognition. Still questionable, still up in the air. I don't really know what to say. I mean, Chavez Jr. has 61 fights total with a record of 54-6-1. And Jake Paul's 11-1. So, I mean, and Jake Paul's a huge favorite right now. He's minus 700 according to Tabology. And Chavez Jr. is a plus 450. This is crazy, man. I don't know. Like, if he wants to jump in, but he has to have entertainment value behind it, because he's, the YouTuber, and all that. But I still feel like at this point, if you really want to be taken seriously and you talk about making your way up to becoming a ranked boxer in all the big organizations, as well as becoming a champion, like, get it going. You've been at this for about 3+ years now, and while you've made pretty good gains and pretty good, your skills have gotten pretty good. You're still getting knockouts and still, hurting people, but the opponents are the problem. And unfortunately, you're never gonna get away from all that shit until you start fighting just start fighting like you're a boxer coming up, and you're doing what you need to do to get yourself to the upper levels of things. But it's just not happening still. But the talk is, you know, Chavez Jr., he's done what he's done in the past, but here's some of his most recent fights against, like I said, Uriah Hall and Anderson Silva, who he did beat Uriah Hall by unanimous decision back in 2024. He lost a split decision to Anderson Silva in 2021. As you can tell by his hair and kind of the looks, he said he wasn't really training hard back then. He didn't do much to get ready for that fight. And you know, Anderson is he's tough and he's sharp. So, and he's even at his age now, he's done pretty well in boxing for the few times that he's boxed. So Uriah Hall has always been kind of an up and down fighter, and he lost a unanimous decision to Chavez Jr. But you know, Jake Paul, like I said, the last fight against Mike Tyson, that was a weird one. Mike Tyson biting his glove all the time. There's all the allegations of being fixed, that Jake Paul held back, that Tyson held back, and there was not a lot of action. It was almost like too much respect, too much just too much of the same shit. I mean, it was a lackluster fight. And on top of that, Netflix had problems with the stream, you know, being that it was a live event and everything. And then you know, Mike Tyson had the health issues and everything. So there was just so much going on with that entire thing. The lead up seemed very just fake, kind of, the pushing and the slapping and all that. But you know, it's entertainment and people still watch it. And when it comes down to it, it was Mike Tyson, and that's where why all the eyes were on it. Before that, he fought Mike Perry, the king of violence from BKFC, now the face of Dirty Boxing, because that's his promotion. But still, you know, he hasn't really fought in BKFC since that. He did lose to Jake Paul, and I was expecting a little more coming from Mike Perry on that one, but he did kind of step in because of the issues with Mike Tyson. And you know, they still had to put the event on, so they did, and they got Mike Perry in there, and he lost by TKO in the 6th round, which, you know, it wasn't like a crazy knockout or nothing, but as you can see, he suffered some damage. And basically, you know, Jake Paul outworked him because he wasn't really ready for that. And you know, Mike Perry's not just a straight boxer. But all that aside, what's going to happen here, I don't know. But all my attention is going to be focused on UFC 317, and I think a lot of other people's attention will be there as well. So who knows how this event will do. I'm sure they'll talk about how big it is and the amount of viewership and all that that's going to come with it. Who knows? I mean, it's a bad weekend for them to be doing this. It's not going to do well going up against UFC 317. It's the UFC's International Fight Week. It's one of the biggest weeks in the world of the UFC. So it's a tough weekend to do it, and I'm not sure why. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So good luck, Jake Paul. I guess. Good luck, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to say. But catch that, I guess, if you're wanting to see it on Saturday. I won't be watching it. I'll wait till I see the outcome later. That's probably all that'll be worth watching at the moment, I hate to say. So speaking of UFC 317, we got the Watch Party podcast happening Saturday during the main card of UFC 317. As soon as the main card goes live, as soon as that pay-per-view starts, we will be live right here in this studio. I'm going to have 3 other people in here with me. The 2 of the usuals, Josh and Clark. And then we got a buddy of Clark's that'll be in here with us as well. He got lucky and is going to be in town, and I guess he's down to do it and wants to hang out and watch the fights with us and have some drinks and be a bunch of fools like we usually are. But we have a good time. It's live reactions to all the fights as they happen. Don't listen to the boring commentary. Listen to us talk shit, have fun, have some drinks, and yeah, just be a bunch of fools. It's always a good time. And yeah, we react live to all the fights. So that'll be happening Saturday. As soon as the main card starts, we will be live right here on this same channel on YouTube. So check it out. Be ready. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. And the first one you'll see after today will be Saturday for this UFC pay-per-view. Tpuria versus Oliveira, Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. That's what we're talking about next. So let's get into that right now. UFC 317 happening on Saturday, as I just said. 2 title fights on this pay-per-view. International Fight Week for the UFC. So of course they're in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, and we got these 2 big title fights happening. So the lightweight division is take Clark's money. Clark hasn't been betting much lately, so maybe he learned his lesson. I don't know. But as of right now, he hasn't been doing much of betting. He's been betting people on the chat, which are his friends that jump in. So maybe that's what he's doing. I don't care too much. I'm too worried about making drinks and keeping the show going and keep entertaining. So we'll see what happens. But as far as this fight, the lightweight division right now, the title is vacant because Islam Makhachev is moving up to 170. So Ilia Tpuria has moved up as well and will be fighting for the lightweight championship against Charles Oliveira. And that's because Ilia Tpuria is having trouble making the weight anymore. He says it's not, it's not worth it to him to continue, dwindling his body down to that weight. But he is the smaller fighter. And that's the part that gives me a little bit of pause. But a lot of times the height difference and all that doesn't really matter, especially when you have a 16-0 fighter in Ilia Tpuria, who's already been a champ in another division, who vacated his title for no other reason than the fact that the weight cut has been too hard and he wants to move up and become a champion of a second weight class. And Charles Oliveira, we know, has been the champ in the lightweight division before. And while he may not be as 100% sharp and everything else as he was in the past, he's still Charles Oliveira. He's still dangerous, and he still can do his thing in there, whether it be on the ground or on the feet. He takes a lot of punches and he takes a lot of damage, but he always seems to come back and make it a difficult fight. So that's what's going to make it fun, and that's what's going to be interesting about this one for the main event. And then in the co-main event, we have another title fight. Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Pantoja had a few title defenses at this point. I think that's 3 total. Yeah, he beat Kaya Sakura in his last one, who Kaya Sakura stepped in and came over from Ryzen. One of these guys who had a good record, very exciting, but stepping in kind of last minute. It was kind of tough for him, and Pantoja came out on top in the second round. So Kai Kara France has kind of been waiting, but he was injured for a little bit, and now is his time to try to get the title. Pantoja's kind of fought all of the bigger names. He got the title from Brandon Moreno. He's beat Brandon Royval, Steve Erceg, and Kaya Sakura. So has a lot of other wins in there. So yeah, this should be a good one because Kai Kara France likes to throw hands, and he's got heavy hands as well. So, but Pantoja can take a lot of damage, and that's one of the reasons why he's still the champ, because he may look like he's in trouble, but he seems to come back and find a way to win regardless. And we'll get deeper into that here in just a minute when I get down to, talking about those fights in particular. But we're going to start off with the prelims, and here's a little bit of a preview. And we're going to start off with that right side where we have some debuting fighters. We got Jackson McVeigh versus Christopher Ewert. I believe that's how you say his name. McVeigh is, man, I messed that up because I had to change this at the last minute, and I did not change that number. So it's actually 6-0, but who cares? You can look it up. It's not a big deal. I just put that there for quick reference, but he is 6-0, making his UFC debut. He was 4-0 in the LFA before this, so he's on a decent win streak. Obviously, he's undefeated. So, and then you got Christopher Ewart, who is a last-minute replacement because McVeigh was supposed to fight. Man, who was he supposed to fight? I can't remember now. I just changed it too. Either way, Ewart is making his UFC debut as well. He is also undefeated at 7-0. So we got two undefeated guys debuting in the UFC. Ewart was supposed to fight. McVeigh was supposed to fight. Oh, Cedric Dumas. So that's interesting because Dumas can't fight. Oh man, this is John Jones level shit. But at least John Jones was a champ and fought. But Dumas, after his last fight in the UFC, got arrested. I think not even a month later, he got arrested for like aggravated robbery and assault or some shit. And so he's like robbing people. And this was in April of this year. And so everyone's kind of tripping out because they're like, hold on, the UFC is having this guy fucking fight like a few months after he just got arrested for like the 17th time or some shit like that. This motherfucker can't stay out of trouble. And he's not even popular enough or good enough at fighting to have people look over it. It's like, what are we doing? But yeah, he gets arrested for like 15, 16, 17th time, some bullshit like that. Tough upbringing, I guess, and bad decisions, but he was supposed to fight, and it was announced, I think it might have been today, if not yesterday, that he was out of the fight because, get this, because his ankle bracelet wasn't going to be off in time, so he wasn't going to be able to fight because he can't fight with that ankle bracelet on, much less go to Vegas. I mean, sometimes they let you go if it's a work thing, but you can't fight in the cage with an ankle monitor. Imagine if that shit happened. Oh man, that would have been a hell of a first. I totally forgot that's who was supposed to fight McVeigh, but it's problematic. So so that fight's off, and now it's Ewart versus McVeigh to start off the prelims. Next up, we got Johanata Deniz versus Elvin Hines. Deniz is 8-1. He's a big motherfucker, that's for sure. And he's 2-1 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Marcin Tybura, who stopped him in the second round due to a cut, and the doctor stopped that one. Before that, though, he had a couple wins in a row. And then we got Elvin Hines. Goozy. He was interviewed by Combat Sports Today, so shout out to them for getting that interview after announcing that he was going to be stepping in on short notice and becoming a part of the UFC. So that was badass, and I was happy to see that. So let's see if he can make the best of his short notice fight coming into the UFC. 5-0 in the LFA, 7-0 overall. And yeah, he's making his debut, trying to make the best of it, coming in against a tough opponent though. Johanata Deniz is a big dude who can, if he lands on you, is definitely gonna do some damage. So I guess, he got that big TKO with the performance of the night bonus over Austin Lane, but then again, Austin Lane is kind of weak, unfortunately. He is not a great fighter. So good luck to Elvin Hines in this one. I like Deniz a bit, but he's just kind of a weird dude, and I don't know much about him. And with CST, doing the interview with Hines, he seemed like a good dude. I enjoyed the interview a lot, and yeah, wish him luck in his UFC debut. Hopefully you do big things, my man. Moving on, we got undefeated 10-0 Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price at 16-8. This is tough, man. Price is 8-8 in the UFC. Jacoby Smith has only had one fight in the UFC, but it was damn impressive. And there's a lot of hype around Jacoby Smith. This is like feeding Nico Price to the wolves, because while he's had some good fights in his past, he man, it's just tough to say that he's gonna do a lot in this one, especially against somebody like Jacoby Smith. Nico Price's last fight, I believe, was Themba Garimbo. He lost by unanimous decision. I just remember the big knockout loss against Robbie Lawler when Robbie Lawler fought him and in his retirement fight, which I enjoyed that. I mean, I like Nico Price, but to see Robbie Lawler go out like that was dope, and I was happy to see it. But yeah, this one looks a little one-sided. It's going to be tough for Price to overcome Jacoby, but we'll see. Jacoby only has one fight in the UFC. Nico Price is a vet, so somewhat. So yeah, that could be an interesting one. And then we come up to what I think is going to be one of the most exciting fights in this one, or at least has potential to be. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borshev. I can't. Slavakaz. I can't remember how to say his first name, but they call him Slava Claus. I'm not exactly sure why. It's a alpha male thing, team alpha male, but yeah. So he's coming in to fight Terrence McKinney, and as we know, Terrence McKinney's fights pretty much don't go past the first round, whether he's winning or losing. Let's look at his last few fights. I mean, we're talking round one. The last time he went to round 2 was only a minute in, and he lost that one to Nas, who we saw get a big win last week, and that was in 2023. So that was 2 fights in a row that he went to the second round, and both of those were losses. He does have a lot of losses, but no matter what, it's been TKOs all over the place. He had a submission win over Eric Gonzalez, but a lot of his fights just end in the first round. The last 5 fights have ended in the first round and didn't go past 2 minutes and 1 second. His last fight was against Damir Hadzovic. So he's coming off a win. He had 2 losses in a row before that, but Slava Claus is a badass as well. Got a big win against let's see, who was that fight I'm thinking of? Shit, can't even remember who that last one was. Anyway, he is coming off a loss to Tom Nolan. That was a unanimous decision. He won a split decision against James Yontop and then lost by Darce to Chase Hooper. It was a majority draw against Nazim Sadikov. That was a fun one. They got the fight of the night in that one. And then he got a performance of the night against Hassier with the TKO win in the second round. So there's a lot of potential here for some, an exciting fight. I feel like both these guys can really do some damage and can make this a fun one. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Next up, we got the women. Viviane Araujo versus the hottie Tracy Cortez. That one is interesting as well. Araujo 13-6 overall, and she's 7-5 in the UFC. She's coming off a win over Karine Silva. That was a unanimous decision win. She's kind of been on a win-loss streak. She lost against Hebus and Grasso. She's got wins against Andrea Lee, Jennifer Maya, and Karine Silva. But then you got Tracy Cortez, who's 11-2. She's coming off a loss to Rose Namajunas, where Rose punched that eyelash off her face, which was hilarious. But still, she fought hard. I mean, it wasn't a horrible loss for Tracy. She just got outclassed by a former champ and a vet. That's all there is to it. Thug Rose is a badass. So that was a tough fight for her. So she's looking to bounce back, get in the win column. Before that loss, she was on a hell of a win streak. She was undefeated in the UFC before meeting Rose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, with wins over Jasmine Jasdavicius, Melissa Gatto, Justine Kish, Stephanie Iger, and Vanessa Mello. She came from the Contender Series, where she got a win over Maria Agapova. So, she's only got 1 loss in the UFC, looking to bounce back. She's going to be hungry for that win against Araujo, who's a tough opponent. So that's your women's flyweight fight in the prelims. Next up, we got Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado. This should be a damn good fight too. This is what I'm talking about with this card. You got all these kind of sneaker fights where they have a lot of potential for a lot of exciting fights to happen in these prelims. Hyder Emil 11-0 versus Delgado, who's 9-1. Emil is undefeated, obviously, so he's got 3 fights in the UFC, all wins. William Gomez, Zhang Yang Li, and Fernie Garcia. He got a performance of the night bonus against Lee, who was undefeated. He got a TKO win versus Garcia, who was also undefeated, and then he beat William Gomez, who was undefeated, by split decision. So he's gone up against undefeated fighters and kept his undefeated record, which is pretty impressive. And I feel like that definitely has some good potential there. Van, even more dangerous, absolutely nothing to lose in this matchup. I'm hoping he pulls it off. Oh yeah, definitely, against Brandon Royval. We're getting to that one for sure, and I'm excited as fuck about that fight because Joshua Van looked damn good in that last fight. And yeah, another guy who I know CST is interviewed as well, but that dude, he's just such a good guy. So I'm definitely getting to that fight here in just a minute. But Jose Delgado fighting Hyder Emil. Delgado's 1-0 in the UFC with a win over Connor Matthews. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak, with one of those wins being in the UFC. So this should be a fun one as well. And then we got Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop, to end up the prelims and lead us into the main card. This one has a lot of potential to be good as well. We've seen what RoboCop can do. Jack Hermanson's been out a little bit, but he's coming back. He hasn't fought since February of last year with that win over Joe Pyfer, where everyone called fraud check on Joe Pyfer. But Hermanson's a badass. He's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot of fights too. 11-6 in the UFC. He's kind of on a win-loss streak, but he's a fun guy to watch fight. And taking on RoboCop has a lot of potential to be a good one. RoboCop 16-6, 7-3 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Jared Cannonier, which was a quick one. Ended quickly in the first few seconds of the 4th round, but that was a war. Rodriguez was pretty beat up. He took a lot of damage, and then, he got finished in the 4th round. But before that, he was on a 3-fight win streak with wins over Tululian, Brad Tavares, and Christian Leroy Duncan. So this should be a good fight leading us into the main card. And let's get to that main card right now, starting with Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. And yeah, this one's gonna be tough for Talbot because Lima's no joke. 14-1. Talbot is 9-1, but that last fight he didn't look so great, considering how good he was doing previously. So that's what's tough about that one. And if he doesn't, if he didn't brush up on those takedown defense skills and stuff like that, it's gonna be a tough one for him. He's 7-0 by KO TKO, 1-0 by sub, 1-1 by decision, coming off a loss, and that was by decision. That was his one loss to Ione Barcelos. And again, he didn't look good, but before that, he had 2 performance of the night fights with wins over Giannis Gamori and Cameron Simon. So, you know what? That's all right. Yeah, he looked impressive in his first few fights in the UFC. He's 3-1, and there was a lot of hype around him. And then it seems like he cut his hair, and that was a bad thing because he did not look good in that last fight. And then you got Felipe Lima, who is 14-1, 2-0 in the UFC, 4-0 by KO TKO, 3-1 by sub, 7-0 by decision, on a 2-fight win streak. So the only difference there, if you saw that, it was that Talbot has his loss by decision, while Lima has his loss by submission. But they both have submission wins, though, not a bunch. So I mean, it's kind of even there. And when we're looking at this, it's just a matter of if Talbot can overcome that loss, because being his first loss, sometimes these guys don't bounce back very well. And that's what makes it tough when you have that undefeated record. But he's losing it early, and he's still young. So hopefully he, has his mind right and is able to turn it around and make it a good one here against Lima, who's tough. He's on, let's see, well, obviously a 2-fight win streak because he's 2-0 in the UFC with wins over Miles Johns and Mohamed Naimov, who you see here getting choked out. But he hasn't lost since 2015. That's his first loss in his MMA career, and that was his first professional fight. So he's on a crazy win streak, including the 2 in the UFC. This is going to be a tough one for Talbot, but we'll see if he bounces back and hands Lima his first loss in the UFC. But that's your first fight of the night on the main card. Next up, we have Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. This is definitely potential to be great. Renato Moicano is always fun to watch fight. Money Moicano, you watch him do well in his fight, and next thing you know, he gets a win, and you hear him just waxing poetic on the mic, whether it's about finances and money or it's about who he wants next. But he talks a big game, and he has no problem getting out there and saying what he feels. So there's always a spiel coming from him after he wins a fight, as long as he gets that mic. And Beneil Dariush is kind of a quieter guy, but yet he's a damn good fighter. And he was fighting his way into contention until he wound up getting that loss, and now he's got 2 in a row. He's 22-6 overall, 15-5 in the UFC, 5-5 by KO TKO, 8-1 by subs, and 9-0 by decision. So if this goes to decision, it's looking good for Beneil, but Moicano only has 1 loss by decision, so it's not a big difference there. Moicano 10-2 by sub and 2-3 by KO TKO. So obviously submissions are a good thing for Renato Moicano. He's 12-6 in UFC, 20-6 overall. Beneil Dariush got that loss against Charles Oliveira, who's fighting on this card, of course, for that title. So I mean, that's a hell of a fight, and with no matter how good Beneil Dariush is, I mean, Charles Oliveira still has it, man, and that's what I was talking about earlier. So that was a tough fight for him, but it was a first round TKO loss for him against Charles Oliveira back in June of last year, 2 years ago. He hasn't fought since December of 2023, where he lost to Arman Tsarukyan, another tough opponent. That was a TKO loss in the first round as well. So he's lost his last 2 fights in the first round, which means if he gets past the first, he'll probably feel pretty good about himself, and maybe then he can start making some moves. But if Moicano gets on him quick, which we've seen him do before, it could be a tough night for Beneil Dariush, especially with 2 losses in a row. He's going to be looking to get, not get that 3rd loss, because we know what happens then. But with Beneil Dariush having the name that he has, I think he's going to be okay. It's just a matter of, how he performs in this fight. Moicano is a tough opponent. He's got wins over Mateusz Gamrot, Tony Ferguson, Diego Ferreira, Drakkar Klose, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises. He's got a lot of wins. Before he got those 2 losses, he was on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak, which is why it was looking good for him to get a title shot in, soon. It's just he's not the most exciting fighter. He's not the best on the mic. He's a very religious guy, so he's very kind of soft-spoken. So that's what kind of holds him back a little bit from getting that title shot. And then he ran into Charles Oliveira and loses to an ex-champ and a legend like, Oliveira. So, and then you come against Tsarukyan, who's also chasing that title in a big way, and he gets those losses, and that's what makes it tough for him. So then you got Moicano, 20-6 overall, like I said, and coming off a loss to Islam Makhachev. He fought in that late replacement fight against Makhachev for the title. He lost in the first round by submission, the Darce choke. But I mean, come on, that's against Makhachev, who is the fucking, right now, the best there is in a few divisions. And now he's moving up because he wants to become a 2-division champ, and I can see it happening. It's just a matter of when and how and who he's fighting. But as of now, he relinquished his title. He's moving up, and the title is vacant and gonna be won by one of the 2 fighters in the main event of this card. So Moicano, I mean, he can't hang his head too low, considering he came in on short notice and took that fight. and it was a tough one for him. He hasn't really fought somebody like Moicano. I mean, he got a crazy win against Benoit Saint Denis, where he stopped him in the second round due to the doctor stoppage with the eye injury. But I mean, he beat the shit out of BSD. So that was a hell of a win for him there. He had that big win against Jalen Turner, a TKO with ground and pound in the second round. Win against Drew Dober, win against Brad Riddell. His last loss before the title loss was against RDA, Rafael dos Anjos. So, I mean, he's got a lot of submission wins if he gets on the ground. Beneil is one of those guys that is pretty strong on the ground, but I don't know if he's going to be able to fend off Moicano with the skills he has. They both have been submitted, though. Actually, Dariush has been submitted one time less than Moicano. So, but Moicano's strengths are on the ground with those submissions. And we'll see if Beneil can take advantage of the striking game, or getting him down on the ground and hitting some ground and pound. I just don't know, though, because if Moicano is hot with the way that Beneil Dariush has looked in his last couple fights, I feel like Moicano has a really good chance of getting a big win here, especially bouncing back from that title loss. He's going to be hungry. He's going to want to come back and show and prove that he can still hang with the top of the division and the stronger guys in the division. So if he gets his win against Dariush, that'll be a good one for him, and it won't look good for Dariush, though, considering he's coming off the 2 losses. Either way, I'm excited for this one. I feel like it's going to be a good one, and we'll see what happens. So that brings us to what Andre was talking about. Oh, Christian Flores, Moicano getting clapped. Oh shit, you think so, huh? Against Dariush, man? I don't know. I feel like Moicano has a really good chance in this one, but Dariush is tough. He's got a lot of experience, and I could see him winning. I kind of feel like I got Moicano edging it out, even if it means by decision. But we'll see what happens. Christian, you coming to watch the watch party on Saturday? Let us know what kind of money you're winning, who you betting on. You always got the bets going and always winning that money. So let us know. Next up, though, we got what Andre was talking about. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. Christian says, "Yes, sir, I'm there." Hell yeah. We'll be expecting some comments and some chat going on. We'll be waiting for it. But Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. This is gonna be fun, because we know what Royval can do, and he's always tough. He fought for the title against Pantoja, gave him a pretty decent fight. And Joshua Van's coming off less than 2 months ago, where he got that big win in the fight night. But Royval is 17-7 overall, 7-3 in the UFC, 4-1 by KO TKO, 9-1 by sub, 4-5 by decision. He's on a 2-fight win streak. But Van is on a 4-fight win streak, 5-0 by decision, 2-1 by sub, 7-1 by KO TKO. He's 7-1 in the UFC. Christian says, "This is a tough matchup, bro. The line has moved to Van as the favorite. I think age takes the cake here. Van by KO." Okay. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure, especially with the hot streak that Joshua Van is on right now. It is insane. The past 2 fights of his has been fucking nuts. And I just mean the way that he's fighting, the way that he looks in the fights. That last one against Bruno Silva with that fucking KO, I was excited, man. It was a fun one to watch, and it just how humble he is and how good of a guy he is. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to see him win. But Raw Dog is fucking, he's dope too, man. I don't dislike him at all. I just feel like let's see, hold on, did I just click on the wrong one? Am I looking at the right one? Yeah, I am looking at the right one. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think Royval, he's a good fighter too, and it's just tough because I mean, yeah, he's almost 10 years older and he's had some big fights. But he's on a 2-fight win streak too. I mean, he got Tatsuro Taira split decision win with the fight of the night there, and that was back in October of last year. And then you got a win over Brandon Moreno, former champ, split decision win. But as you can see, split decisions, I mean, we're talking about close fights, hard fought fights, but he comes out with the win. And that's after a loss for the title. So, you know, sometimes, like I said, like talking about Moicano bouncing back, you never know how they're going to bounce back. And Royval has bounced back pretty well, considering he fought for the title in December of 23 and then gets 2 fights in 2024 and 2 big wins by split decision, but still. Before he lost to Pantoja, he had 3 wins in a row with wins over Matt Schnell, Mateus Nicolau, and Rodrigo Boturin. So he lost to Pantoja before that. So it's kind of like Pantoja just has his number. But, you know, Moreno had beat him before that as well. And then he came back and beat Moreno. So Pantoja just might be one of those guys that has his number. It is what it is. But Joshua Van, man, he looks so goddamn good in that last fight. I couldn't believe that right cross that he landed. It was fun to watch. It was a great knockout. Before that, he had a win against Rai Suruya by unanimous decision. He's got a win over Cody Durden and Edgar Chavez. So his last 3 fights before this last TKO win were all unanimous decisions. But no matter what, Joshua Van looks good in his fights, and you know, he does well. He's got the 1 loss in the UFC. That was to Charles Johnson, and before that, he had a few other wins, couple decisions, 1 ground and pound. So yeah, I mean, again, Mitchell Disbro says, what's up, guys? Can't wait for this fight on Saturday. Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm fucking excited right now. Just going through these fights is making me fucking even more excited. Just kind of breaking it down and seeing what these guys are about and what they've done recently. Yeah, it's just, I'm excited. This is probably card of the year, bro. Card 2 stack. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard somebody saying earlier in the podcast that they didn't think this was the best card ever. And I'm not saying it's the best card ever, but they kind of said it in a way like they didn't think this was that great of a card. And I think it might have been like, fuck, I don't remember who it was. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a great card. There's a lot of sleeper fights on here that you might not know that are going to be good, but they have a lot of potential to be good. And I'm fucking excited for almost this entire fucking card, really. The main card, I like all the fights on it. There's not one fight that I'm like, I don't care about that one so much. I like all of them. And then, you know, the majority of the prelims too. And, you know, there's one women fight in there, but come on, it's Tracy Cortez. Like, that's always good to watch. Even if she's getting her eyelashes punched off. And then Viviane Araújo, Tracy Cortez. See, there you go. Christian's on that level too. But yeah, Tracy Cortez, come on, man. I mean, it's always a good day when Tracy's fighting. But Araújo's not a bad fighter either. And I mean, she's not that bad looking either. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of this card is great. I'm excited for it. And the fact that it's a pay-per-view, we get to do a watch party, makes it even better. So now we're over to the first title fight of the night, the co-main event. We got Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Fuck, man. So this one I feel like might be a little lopsided because we've seen Kai Kara France drop fights in ways that it just doesn't make sense. But he's tough and he's got heavy hands. I mean, look at that. KO TKO, 12-3. 12 wins by KO TKO. It's always good when they're in those double digits, especially when, you know, it's TKO, KO TKO wins and decision wins, double digits, whatever. But still, he's got heavy hands for his size and for the weight class. He's 3-3 by subs, 10-5 by decision. He's coming off a win. He's been looking at trying to get that title fight for quite a while, but he's had some issues here and there that have kept him from getting there, but he's finally there now. Pantoja has done a good job of getting through the division and defending his title. He's got 3 title defenses under his belt right now, with big wins in it too. Christian says 2-leg parlay for this fight. Pantoja by sub under 2.5 rounds. That's not a bad call at all, actually. Under 2.5. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Shit, I might have to take a look at that one. Damn, you got me thinking now. I'm like, shit. Yeah, good. Look at that submission column for Pantoja, 11-0. So you got Kai Kara France, with the KO TKO double digits, and then you got, but he's got losses there too. You got Pantoja with no losses by sub, no losses by KO TKO, because that motherfucker has a head that doesn't that doesn't fucking get weak. He gets hit so many fucking times. We've seen him get damage, and he continues. Mitchell's excited too. Hell yeah. But yeah, he just continues to fight and press forward. It's crazy. Pantoja, he's tough, man, and it's gonna be a fun fight. I think he's got a lot of fights, like 29-5 overall. I mean, he's up there in age, 35, but he's up there in age. But I mean, Kai Kara-France isn't far behind, so it's like this is kind of a somewhat even matchup, except for those submissions. I mean, fuck, Pantoja's got so many. Christian said after seeing Pantoja ragdoll Asakura, he definitely winning. Yeah, that's the thing. Kai Asakura was so fucking just, everyone was hyped. There was so much just hype with him coming in, and they were talking about how he's one of the greatest fighters and blah, blah, blah. And Pantoja just didn't work. So yeah, that's a good call, Christian. And fucking yeah, it's hard to dismiss that fact. So let's look at Pantoja, and his title defenses are against Kai Asakura, like we just spoke about, Steve Erceg, who's a tough opponent, but I mean, I feel like after he fought Pantoja, it's been tough for Erceg. But Erceg gave Pantoja a damn good fight, man. I mean, if you think about it, that 5th round takedown attempt by Erceg was really the thing that lost him that fight. He was doing well. If he would have won that 5th round, I think he might have been the champ right now. It was so goddamn close. But you know, in the end, Pantoja took advantage of that takedown, that failed takedown attempt, and he took the end of the round and defeated Erceg and defended his belt. And then he got the win over Brandon Royval by unanimous decision as well. I mean, that was a pretty good fight too. But you know, like I said earlier, I think Pantoja just has Royval's number, and it's kind of tough for Royval to overcome that. So, I mean, but it was still a tough win. He got the win over Brandon Moreno. Yeah, Pantoja's tough as hell. That's fucking. I can't get over how much damage he takes and just continues to press forward and fight. He beat Manel Kopp as well. He lost to Askar Askarov and Davison Figueiredo, but I mean, that was a fight of the night against Figueiredo. I mean, he's got wins over multiple wins over Brandon Moreno, Wilson Hayes, Matt Schnell, Manel Kopp, Brandon Roy. God damn, he's got a lot of wins over big names, and that's why he's the champ. So, and then we got Kai Kara-France, you know, coming in with that crazy tongue sticking out, always yelling and doing the haka stuff, which is nuts and fun. But he's 8-4 in the UFC, coming off a win over Steve Erceg as well, and that was a TKO win for him. So he stopped Erceg while Pantoja, you know, went to decision with him. But it was a hard fought win for Pantoja, and like I said, it was really close. Erceg might have been able to pull it out if he won that 5th round. But Kai Kara-France came back and beat him as well and stopped him. But before that, he had 2 losses in a row. Amir Albazi, split decision, and Brandon Moreno by TKO. So he was on a 3-fight win before that, where he got a win over Askar Askarov, Cody Garbrandt, and Rogerio Boturin. But he had a bunch of bonuses there. Performance of the night against Cody, performance of the night against Bontarine, and then lost to Brandon Royval, but that was a fight of the night. So he's also got a win over Tyson Nam, Elias Garcia. That was a fight of the night as well. So he's got a lot of bonuses, and that's why it's fun to watch him fight. So let's see what he can do against Pantoja. He finally gets that title fight, and we'll see if he can take advantage or if it slips through his hands, because he's been waiting for this, and now's the time to get it done. And or it might be time for Pantoja to get that 4th title defense and cement himself in history with in the flyweight division, because you know, we had Brandon Royval and Davison Figueiredo fighting it out for years over that title, and now with him getting 4 title defenses, I mean, that's good. That's damn good for him. So I feel like Kai Kara-France has a puncher's chance, of course. He wins by decision a lot as well. But so does Pantoja, and Pantoja has those subs. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Pantoja's so tough. He can take a lot of punches. This is a tough one to call. I think everyone might be right though. I think Pantoja has a slight upper hand here, being the champ and all and everything he can do. Let's move on to the main event. Ilia Tpuria versus Charles Oliveira for the main event, the vacant lightweight championship. And yeah, I mean, what can I say except for El Matador coming up in weight, ready to do his thing in the lightweight division. 16-0 overall, 8-0 in the UFC, 6-0 by KO TKO, 8-0 by sub, 2-0 by decision. So I mean, the finishes take the cake here. He's got more of those than he does decisions. Only 2 fights by decision. He's on an 8-fight win streak because he's 8-0 in the UFC, but technically 16-0. So 16-fight win streak, really. But I just always count the UFC ones because that's what we're talking about here. Then you got Charles Oliveira with all of that goddamn experience. I mean, 35-10 overall, 23-10 in the UFC, 10 losses in the UFC, but still, we know who Charles Oliveira is. And that's why that doesn't matter as much. We're more looking at how long he's been in the UFC and how long it's been since he was champ and what he's done since then. And that's what causes pause for whether he can take on Tpuria, the undefeated Tpuria, coming up as a former champ in another division, and didn't lose his title. He vacated. So yeah, that's what makes that difficult here. But 10-4 for KO TKOs, 21-4 by sub. Talk about impressive. More than double digits. More than just the fact that it's double digits, but he's in the 20s in submission wins. That's fucking impressive. And while Tpuria has never been finished at all, I mean, he's only got 8 submission wins, but that is more than he has everything else. So, you know, if this gets to the ground, it could get real interesting. And then we got 4-2 by decision, and he's coming off a win. So let's take a look at Topuria's last few fights. Obviously, being the former champ, and the heartbreaking shit that we got to look at here. And I'm sorry for this, but it is his last couple fights. So he got the big win over Max Holloway, cementing himself in history, being the first guy to finish Max Holloway. And that was a title defense. And then he got the win over Alexander Volkanovski to win the title. So I mean, he only had 2 title fights in the featherweight division, but I mean, he was dominant in that division, considering 5 fights. His last 5 fights in that division were all performance of the night or fight of the night bonuses. Let's see. Yeah, all performance of the night except for 1 fight of the night against Josh Emmett, which was a hell of a fight as well. But I mean, look who he's beat: Max Holloway, Volkanovski, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, Jai Herbert, Ryan Hall, Damon Jackson, Yusef Zalal. Yeah, all those names in the UFC. So everybody has a recognizable name there. And then having all of his last 5 fights ending with bonuses, which means you're going to get a great fight out of Ilia Tpuria. They call him the El Matador. He tried to change his name to Legend or some shit like that, but it didn't really work out. So he's back to Matador, I think. Either way, this is going to be a fun one. And are we going to get the 3rd fucking fight in a row where he beats a fan favorite fighter? Because everyone loves Charles Oliveira. Everyone has always loved Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. So Ilia by KO or Charles by sub. That's a good call, Christian. Once again, that's why you're good at betting, I think, because that is a good call. If it doesn't go to decision, I think that's definitely how they win. Because I don't know, Charles has good striking, but I don't know if Ilia is going to get stopped on the feet. With Charles having all those submissions, that is a damn good call. And then Ilia, definitely, we've seen him unfortunately knock out knock out two of our favorite fighters ever, at least mine. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Jesus, these are two fighters I was like, god damn it, I was so pissed when I saw them both lose to fucking Ilia. I mean, I like Ilia, but not as much as I like these two guys, and I don't know if I like him more than I like Charles either. But I'm realistic about it, so when it comes down to it, I have to agree with Christian here, saying that if Charlie Olives loses, it's going to be by KO TKO. And then if he gets Ilia, he's definitely going to sub him. Even if he drops him, he's gonna get on top of him and get the right position and finish him with some kind of sub. But as we see here, you know, he's got the striking to get them to the ground at least, and then we know he's got those submissions with the 21 wins there. So Charles Oliveira, being a former champ, and you know, all the experience he's had, let's hope that this isn't the last that we see of him at the very top, fighting for this vacant title. Even if he wins and doesn't defend, or only defends once or something, I'd be real happy for him. I feel like Ilia's got a long career ahead of him still, and I feel like Charles is kind of one of those guys that, you know, he's creeping up to that time where it might be time to you know, maybe call it a day sometime in the near future. He's only 35, but you know, we've seen his ups and downs, so it's tough to say that he's going to be around for a long time, but you never know. We've seen a lot of other guys do it for longer with worse records, so let's just hope he gets out on top instead of you know, the sad shit that we've seen in the past. So that's it. That's your main fight. 2 title fights happening Saturday. I'm fucking excited for all of these fights, and because I'm not as good as Christian at picking fights, we're now gonna hit that fight wheel for the fight wheel predictions. Let's take a look at how the fight wheel did. These were the the picks from last week. I'm gonna look back and see how well the fight wheel predicted. So Nazim Sadikov definitely got a win. That was the best fight of the night. He got the fight of the night bonus and the performance of the night bonus with that big TKO win over Nicholas Mota, but that was a fucking crazy fight altogether. Made up for the rest of the shit on that card. Jamal Hill, no. The fight wheel was completely wrong on that one. Khalil Rountree got a good win over him. Musayev lost against Miktaibek Orobai. That was a good win for Orobai there. Kuniev, he lost as well to Curtis Blades. So the fight wheel did not do that great last week. Bogdan Grad versus Mohamed Naimov. Grad did not win, and then Fiziev did win. So that's good. So 2 for 6, not great there for the fight wheel. What the fuck? But you know what? At least I know this is all by chance, and none of this is because I suck at predictions. So let me get rid of these. Let me get rid of these names. Have a nice clear canvas there so we can put the new predictions in there. All right, so let's get started here with the fight wheel predictions. Let's see what our first prediction is for one of the 5 fights on the main card, 2 title fights, and we're starting off with Peyton Talbot coming back into the win column, getting a win over Felipe Lima. So that is interesting. There's your first predicted winner. So we'll remove that name there. That's going to be a hard-fought win if he does get that win, because as I was saying earlier, Lima is a tough opponent and a tough fight for Talbot to come back to after losing that fight, his last fight and his first fight overall. So let's see what the next prediction is. Here we go. Fight wheel predictions. Who we got next? Oh shit. Pantoja defending his belt against Kai Kara France. It looks like that's probably going to be the way that goes. So that's not a bad prediction. There's your second prediction there. First title fight down. Let's see, let's get these names out of here so we can do the next prediction. So far we got Talbot and Pantoja getting the wins according to the fight wheel with the fight wheel predictions. Let's see what we got next. Renato Money Moicano beating Beneil Dariush. That one could go either way in my eyes, but I know Christian Rodriguez said that he was thinking that Beneil's got that one. So Mr. Chuck E. Cheese, what the fuck? What do I do if my mom's boyfriend is causing chaos in the house? I'm feeling like I need to run away. It depends on how old you are, because if you're me, I'm whooping his ass. But that's just me. I don't know what the fuck that is either, Infinity. I don't know. But I entertain it. Moicano is the next prediction there. And I don't know what's happening, man. Last time I got, what do I do if I bet somebody like $3,000 and they haven't paid up yet, and I'm like, find them and kick their ass or just get the money? I don't know. What the fuck? So we got Moicano beating Dariush. 2 more fights left for the fight wheel predictions. Here we go. And we got, oh shit, Ilia Tpuria winning the vacant lightweight title. So the net is undefeated. Yeah. Ilia Tpuria getting a second title in his career in a different weight class, beating Charles Oliveira according to the fight wheel predictions. Let's get rid of those 2 names and let's see what the fight wheel has for our last fight. Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. This is a tough one. Oh shit, Joshua Van getting the fucking win. I like Brandon Royval, but I would love to see Joshua Van getting that win. Oh shit, what is Christian saying? Oh my god, call the police on his ass. I can also send oiled up John Jones. Oh fuck, I have the inside gut feeling he's a bad man. He's a Muslim and I'm Christian noted. And what the fuck, I just don't like religion mixing personally in my household, that's all. Okay. I don't know if this is the right place to be asking this shit. But I will say it's entertaining, and I'm sorry, man. I hope things work out for you if this is legit. But oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. You're in the wrong chat, homie. Exactly. I don't know what's happening, bro. This is weird. But okay, so your fight wheel predictions. Peyton Talbot and Alexandre Pantoja defending his title. Renato Moicano beating Beneil Dariush. Ilia Tpuria getting the vacant lightweight title, and Joshua Van beating Brandon Royval. Mr. Chuck E. Cheese says, I needed someone to talk to that seemed happy. I'm so angry. Okay, I get it, man. Hey, we're here to help with making you feel a little better. At least we're getting some laughs out of this. I think Christian Rodriguez thought it was or made a funny one on that, and I thought it was funny. Infinity made me laugh too by saying he almost spit out his drink. But Chuck E. Cheese says picks Tpuria, Pantoja, locks. All right, hey, we got some picks out of you too. I didn't know that you were actually here to watch the content as well. Van fight lock goes distance. Okay, no, those aren't horrible calls, man. I think you got some decent picks there, and according to the fight wheel, you are correct. So I appreciate the interaction. Taking Benny though to reach. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Moicano's tough because we seen him go bad, but Benny's on a 2-fight losing streak, so it does not go the distance. Oh, for Van? Yeah, I hear you on that one. But hey, it's always fun to take guesses, right? That's why it's fun to talk about it and see who comes out on top and who gets the win, and who was correct. So that does it for that. We got our fight predictions, our fight wheel predictions. We got some funny interactions in the chat. Van fight is easy distance. Would bet my mother on that. Well, be careful, because you got a bad man in that house, and if he's the one you're betting, you don't want to give up your mom. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make you sad again. Fucking A, man. Oh, this is funny. This is why I wanted to be careful now. Your stepdad on this chat. Oh, shit.
Bruh.
Oh my god, this is why I wanted to do it live, because this shit is funny. I need her to get taken in a van from someone else other than this guy.
Damn, son.
this, this might be your best bet, bro. What the fuck? I don't know what's happening here, man. Shit is funny. I normally skip this part. Send her with a gift to Rogan's house. Yeah, someone might take her away then. So sorry for venting. I'm really trying to swing on this guy. Hey, good luck, man. I hope it works out for you, bro. That about does it for me, though. Oh, I hate to end it now, but we gotta end it. Sloppy the pool boy, Chucky Wild. Yeah, no shit. Holy shit, man. Oh, I don't even know.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I don't even know, but hey, good luck to you, Mr. Chuck E. Cheese. Thank you, everybody else, for interactions and making me laugh in the chat. Holy fuck, this went crazy. We got a great fucking fight night, pay-per-view coming up on Saturday. Don't forget to come back on Saturday night during the main card for the Watch Party podcast. I'll be here in the studio with 3 other people. We'll be talking a lot of shit. We'll be talking a lot of shit just like we are in the chat here. You can join in on the chat and you know, we'll have some fun like we did with Mr. Chuck E. Cheese. I know he's not having fun, but he gave me a good laugh, but I wish him all the best. I hope your mom's situation gets better. Christian Flores, always appreciate you, bro. You're always jumping in at times, and I appreciate that and enjoy it. Infinity, my brother, hopefully I'll be talking to you soon. Sloppy the Pool Boy says, Atlanta Braves fan. Yes, sir. You will always see me wearing a Braves hat. I am a big Braves fan. I have been since before they won in '95. So, because I'm old. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Don't forget about Saturday night pay-per-view. I'm sure you won't. Don't worry about that Jake Paul fight. Just catch the highlights later or stream it somewhere else. And let's see what else happens between Liver King and Joe Rogan. And let's see what other kind of craziness comes out of John Jones. Maybe we'll send him to Mr. Chuck E. Cheese's house and scoop up his mom's. All right, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.